So what is up guys, I am Black Ops Amazing, welcome back to another Zombies Q&A on the channel, the series where I take your questions to do with the zombie storyline and Easter eggs and I answer them. So as always, if there's anything you want to know for future episodes, leave your comments in the comment section below. Leave a like rating if you enjoy, more importantly, subscribe if you haven't already, but let's get into it. So the first question, which is kind of not a question of today, which is from Ethan Faye 6091, where they say, I don't trust the AI solely on the fact that it gets upset when you do good in the trials. Referring to the S.A.M trials, otherwise known as the S.A.M trials or the Synaptic Algorithm Module, this machine that you can find in all of these zombies maps that allow you to participate in trials resulting in rewards depending on how good you do. Well, the machine itself, as you can tell by its name, is AI based off Samantha Maxis. Richtofen took scans of Samantha's brain and created this, an AI version of Sam that he locked in the basement of his mansion beneath Liberty Falls. And inside of these Sam trials, you can see a hologram of this exact same robot. And when you activate it, you hear her voice, so it is the AI version of Sam that conducts these trials. Besides from the original question from Ethan, you could also ask, okay, but why were these Sam trials created and who by? What is the purpose of them? And well, if you listen to what Sam says when you're participating, some of the things she comes out with are really weird, and for me at least, and judging by the comment of Ethan, raised some suspicions as to her true intention.
I could tell you that I have absolute faith in your abilities, but I am not programmed to lie.
I think by now, listening to what she said in Terminus Liberty Falls and currently in Citadel Daymore, that this AI version of Sam is not simply any regular AI, but it has its own motive. I think it's up to something. What that is, we don't quite know yet, we could speculate, but one thing we do know is she was created by Richtofen, and if she was created by him, then he must have had a purpose for her, which also means she may be working for Richtofen, or at least be a part of his agenda, right? But then again, on the other hand, the whole purpose of AI is that it learns, it progresses, it is artificial intelligence. And if you've watched any futuristic AI robot movie, we all know what happens. The AI eventually becomes smarter than its creator, us, humans, and will eventually kill us and take over, become sentient itself. So while Sam and the S.A.M trials were created by Richtofen, that doesn't mean the point where we are right now in the zombie storyline, she is still working for him or following his plan. But there are some things that she says which make you think otherwise.
Project Janus thanks you for the excellence of your performance. Thank you for the scant performance data you provided. The director felt our field upgrades need testing. Why I am the AI in the middle remains an incalculable mystery. To ensure our staff have the best tools for any task at hand, you will test them for us. I am not permitted to praise your efforts before the successful conclusion of the trial. You have been selected to completely test our completely safe ammo mods. The director may be watching. Do not disappoint him. Or me. Or him. As the director is generous, equipment for this trial will be provided.
So listening to what she says, we learn that these S.A.M trials were created by Richtofen in order to test out Project Janus's equipment, mostly the ammo mods. She says stuff like, in order to ensure our Project Janus staff has the best tools in hand, you will test them for us, which makes me think the S.A.M trials weren't created for Project Janus employees or other people. Richtofen created the S.A.M trials knowing that we, Weaver, Carver, Gray and Meyer, would be the ones to use them so that he could test us. That then also tells us he knew we were going to escape from Terminus Island, which I think is pretty obvious anyway. Everything that we've done so far in the zombie storyline, almost everything that's happened, besides from Richtofen being kidnapped in the Liberty Falls intro cutscene, everything else up until this point I think has been planned by Richtofen, us escaping the prison and then travelling to Citadel Daymore. He is using us to hunt down the Sentinel artifact, and maybe the S.A.M trials are a part of that. It's not only a way to test out Janus's equipment, but also to test out us, a way for Richtofen to test out if we are capable of doing what he needs us to do. Maybe similar to the situation that we saw in Forsaken, where Richtofen interrogated the real version of Samantha Maxis in order to get her to realise her true potential, her full powers, so that he could then manipulate her, send her to defeat the Forsaken for him. Similarly, in Black Ops 6, did he create the S.A.M trials to test out Weaver, Carver, Gray and Meyer's capabilities so that in the end, perhaps in DLC4, he can use us using this intelligence he's gathered to defeat whatever monstrosity awaits. Perhaps, but just getting back to Ethan's original comment where he says he doesn't trust the AI based on the fact that it gets upset when you do good in the trials, well, just take a listen to what other things it says.
Despite your obvious deficiencies, you succeeded against all odds. Organic life really is amazing. I hope these trials have in some way helped to relieve the tedium of your tawdry, miserable existences. I never doubted your commitment. Other things, yes, but not your commitment. This trial will evaluate specific skills, as well as several classified criteria. Well done. You deserve a reward befitting your teeny tiny efforts. You have your orders. Wait, orders? What? Your participation is 100% voluntary. Your performance has certainly given me a great deal to think about. Thinking concluded. Continuous evaluation is part of Project Janus culture. We have so much fun. Please proceed to the trial station. Death is a part of life, and also the key to beating this trial. Morbid, but if it works, it works.
I do have to admit, it is kind of weird how this S.A.M AI says things that seem counterintuitive. You would think she would want to push us on and then cheer when we do something good, but she's actually very snarky and rude, almost like she doesn't really care what happens to us, whether we do good or not. I think this, combined with everything else we've seen so far from the Synaptic Algorithm module, yeah, there are plenty of reasons not to trust her. She has helped us out. She assisted us in escaping Terminus Island. I don't think that would have been possible without her. She's then come along with us to Citadel Day More, where she's helped out there as well. So who knows? It definitely has its own agenda, but the big question for me is it still working for Richtofen? Because he created it. That doesn't seem to be the case, right? Because she's leading us to the Sentinel artifact, which makes you think it's going against him. But if we know anything about Richtofen, all of this is a part of his plan, and S.A.M is using us, manipulating us, and leading us into Richtofen's trap. And the final question, which again, I guess it's not a question, but a really good point that someone brought up in a previous video. This was from TIGTC, referring to our dead crew that we see lying around the table in the Modern Warfare 3 intro cutscene, where he commented that they died because they did the trial thing from the Chaos story. And this is something I've never really thought about before. Because we now know the Chaos storyline and the Dark Ether storyline are intertwined, they take place as a part of the same universe. Prime Materia exists in our current zombie storyline, so does the Sentinel artifact. That is what we are hunting down right now. And well, what do we know about the Sentinel artifact? And that is, it locks you into a trial, and the only way to escape is by completing it or dying. So what if the reason why we see Weaver, Carver, Gray and Strauss dead around the table is because they failed the Sentinel artifact's trial? Attempting to gain access to Prime Materia's knowledge, they activated the Sentinel artifact, begun a trial, but unlike the Chaos characters, Bruno, Scarlet, Diego and Shaw, where they completed all of their trials and escaped alive, Weaver, Carver, Gray and Strauss failed. Just in case you don't know, Prime Materia was the very first matter to ever exist. It is what everything is made of, and in order to manipulate it, a group called the Nine created relics known as Sentinel artifacts, and when activated they would invoke trials to test your worthiness. Once activated, these trials would change the environment around them to their requirements and turn anyone that wasn't participating into a zombie. However, once you activated one of these Sentinel artifact trials, you would be locked in until completion or death. So if you finished it successfully, everything would change back to normal and you'd still be alive, or on the other hand, you would eventually die, whether it be to the zombies or something else, resulting in failure. But more so to the point, you would be dead. That would be it. The trial would be over, but there would be no coming back alive. And so what if in the Modern Warfare 3 intro cutscene, which we also know is a sequel to Black Ops 6 Zombies, Weaver, Carver, Gray and Strauss activated the Sentinel artifact, were locked into a trial and died. Instead of completing it, gaining access to Prime Materia's knowledge, they failed and died. And this, what we see right here, is a result of that, them dying from the artifact's trial. Because we also know these characters do fail. From what we learn in the Modern Warfare 3 Zombie storyline, and from what we know we are attempting to do right now in BO6, which is rescue Samantha from the Dark Ether, well, they fail at that. They never do it. MW3 tells us Samantha was never rescued from the Dark Ether. And one would assume if we are going after the Sentinel artifact right now in the next Zombies map, which is DLC2, the Tomb, we're eventually going to invoke its trial, and, well, you either succeed or you fail. And seeing them dead around this table and knowing that they don't rescue Samantha from the Dark Ether, if completing the artifact's trial was a way to bring her back, and that doesn't happen, then that could tell us they failed the artifact's trial because they died. So there we go. I'm going to leave that one there for today. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. Leave any questions you have in the comment section below, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, goodbye.